In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 7 natural laws of the universe, why they're important, and how do they help you with your manifestations. But before we begin, show reel. Welcome back. My name is Amy Lin and I'm a wealth mindset coach. Welcome back to my channel. In this channel, I share all things about manifestation hacks and mindset tips that will be able to help you to manifest faster and easier. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and start implementing these things to your life. Now, in today's video, I want to be sharing with you the natural laws of the universe that not only govern how universe operates and works, but also they operate how your mind works as well as your manifestations. That's why it's important to know what they are, but most importantly, how to apply them into your lives, into your manifestations, so you'll be able to achieve your goals easier and faster. So what I would recommend is you get a pen and paper and take some notes, okay? And I will do a separate video actually for each one of the laws because it's just so much information. So today I'm just gonna go through the surface, just the basics around the laws, and then I will do a separate video for each of the laws. Okay, now, let's get into it. The first natural law that we're gonna go over is called the Law of Perpetual Transmutation of Energy. I know it's a long law. I'm going to say it again. It's the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Okay, and let's break it down. The word perpetual means never-ending cycle, over and over and over again. Right? That's what perpetual means. Transmutation. What does that mean, transmutation? Transmutation is being able to transmute energy from one form to another. Okay, so I always use this example of using, let's say, water, H2O. You see, when you heat water, it becomes steam, and when you freeze water, it becomes ice, right? But the essence is the same, right? The water molecule is the same. When it's under different temperature, then the result is different. You see, the outcome is different. The physical thing is different, okay? But the essence is the same. So what this law essentially means that whatever you think about, which is what we call the non-physical, right? Because your thoughts, you cannot see them. Yes, only you see them internally, but no one else can see. But through this law, the law of transmutation of energy, it will turn your thoughts into a physical reality. Hence, you hear people talk about in personal development space, thoughts turn into things, or what you think about becomes your reality. It's through this law. So how does this law, knowing this law, help you with your manifestation and your goals, you might ask? Well, you see, your goals and your dreams right now are only in your mind, right? No one else sees. It's not physical yet. But through this law, they will become the physical manifestation. So knowing that, it gives you a lot of comfort and understanding. It's important to understand these laws is because, let's just say that one of the laws I'm sure everybody knows, which is the law of gravity. Okay. So what does the law of gravity says? The law of gravity says if I drop this crystal, okay, where is it gonna go? It's gonna go down, right? Doesn't matter where I am, doesn't matter where you are in the world, it doesn't matter if I'm a female, I'm a male, I'm a nice person, or I'm not a nice person. If I let go of this, it's gonna go, right? You see? It's gonna go because this is the law of gravity. Whatever you release, it's gonna go down, okay? You know that. Same thing, same idea when it comes to the sun, for example. depending on where you are in the world, right? The sun rises in the morning and then the sun sets. And again, tomorrow the sun is going to go up and it's going to go down. You don't worry if it's, oh, I wonder tomorrow if the sun is going to come up. Do you do that? You don't, because you know it's going to come up. So the same idea applies to this. If you just knew that based off of all these laws, that your goal has to manifest, right? Then you could be more relaxed. You don't worry and doubt so much. You see? That's why it's important to understand these laws to help you to manifest faster. Because what happens is when you have doubts and worry, you actually create resistance. For your manifestation and goals, you slow them down. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. So that's the first law. The second law that I want to talk about is called the Law of Relativity. What does the Law of Relativity mean? It means that nothing is big or small until you compare it with something. So, give you an example, okay? If you're looking at this crystal, I love crystals, so I'll use my crystal as an example. Like, okay, so if you look at this ring crystal, do you think this is big or small? It's hard to say, right? Because until you compare it with something, you see. So, if I compare it with my amethyst here, okay, what do you think is big or small? Right? Amethyst looks bigger, doesn't it? It makes this smaller now. Right? So now this looks smaller compared to amethyst, okay? So the same item, I'm gonna compare it with my rose quartz. Now, you see which one is big, which one is small. Now this looks bigger, right, than the rose quartz. Do you see that? Okay. So that just means that whatever you're looking at, including your goals and your dreams that in your mind seem so big at this time, if you compare it to something, it doesn't seem that big anymore. So we can use that to kind of trick your mind. So for example, if your goal and dream is to earn 100K a year, okay, 100K a year, you might think right now it's far-fetched. But if you compare it with $1 million, $5 million, it's not that big anymore. You see, so we can use that to trick your mind thinking that your goal that you think is so big to make it smaller. Because when you make it smaller, in your mind, you think it's more attainable. You see, so we can use the laws of relativity to make your goal. This is just one of the examples that you can use to make things easier, more attainable. Okay. Now, the third law I want to go through here is called the Law of Vibration. This is one of the most popular laws because this is from the book, The Secret. Okay, that a lot of people, this is where they found out about the law of attraction. You see, so the law of attraction is what we refer to as the secondary law. Okay, it is based off of the law of vibration. Okay, and what does law of vibration means? Law of vibration means that everything in a universe is always vibrating. You see, like I said, like this crystal right here, even though it looks still, but if you put it under the microscope, it's actually vibrating, okay? And based off of law of attraction, what does that mean? It means that like attract like. It also means that whatever is vibrating on the same frequency, so the same level, will attract each other. Okay? That's why you can use the law of attraction to help you to attract to you what you want and help you with your manifestations. Okay? If you're on the right frequency, right? So let's just say that if you have an abundance mindset, what we're gonna attract to you is more abundance. Okay? Or if you have a grateful attitude, okay? When you have a grateful heart, what's gonna happen using the law of attraction is you're gonna attract to you more things for you to be grateful for. Okay? And on the other side is also true, meaning if you have a lack mindset or a negative mindset, what's gonna attract to you? Same thing on the same frequency, you see? So knowing the law, then it will definitely allow you to become more conscious. Like, okay, what frequency am I vibrating? Because whatever you're vibrating is whatever you're gonna attract, okay? So that's the third law, law of vibration. The fourth law, the law of polarity, okay? So this is, I kind of talked about this already with the law of attraction. Law of polarity means everything in the universe has polar opposite, okay? So in, out, right, wrong, up, down. Okay, so everything has polar opposite. And what does this law stands for is that everything is just is. Okay? Like a situation that happened at work, for example, or on the news. Something that may perceive as bad, like a bad news, on the polar opposite is also true. There's gotta be the equivalent of that. Okay? So there's gotta be something good coming from that. Okay? So if something that's perceived as really, really bad, on the polar opposite, the spectrum, something good must come from that. Okay? So this is how you can help your mind to overcome any challenges. Right? Something that's perceived as very bad, like maybe loss of a job or any type of life situation that may perceive as bad, right? It could be simply be something like you miss your appointment, for example, right? So something as small as that, if you're just becoming aware, like, okay, even though it's perceived as bad, right, but there's gotta be something good coming out from it. Okay? Now that's law of polarity. The next one, I think we are on 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the fifth one, the law of rhythm. Okay, the law of rhythm states that just like the ocean waves, what must go in must come out. What must go down must come up. Okay, so what does that mean? Doesn't matter where you are at in your life right now. Maybe where you're rocking things, you're on the top, or maybe things are rocky and you feel like you've hit rock bottom. Doesn't matter where you are, because based off the law of rhythm, if you feel like you've hit rock bottom, good news is there's nowhere to go but up, you see? And the same thing with the law on the top. If you feel like, you're rocking it, things are amazing, just know that, and some people have that fear, like, what if I, crash? Don't worry about that, because based off of law of rhythm, it's gonna go down, it's gonna go up. It's gonna go down, it's gonna go up. Just kind of like the cycle of the history, right? The economy, the down, up, it's cycle, okay? So knowing that will make you have more peace of mind that, hey, even if you are low, you will go up. And even if you're high, don't be afraid to go down, because once it goes down, it's gonna come up again, okay? So that's the fifth one. It's called the law of rhythm. Now, the sixth one, the law of cause and effect. Okay? I love all the laws, and the law of cause and effect is referred to as the law of laws. Okay? So you want to pay attention. So the law of cause and effect states that everything has a cause and effect. Okay? So I want you to think about the effect as your goal, your desire, your dream, right? The result you want. That's the effect. Okay? Most people are so caught up with the effect, which is the result, the goal. Okay? But based off of this law, the law of cause and effect, in other words, is what you put out is what you get back, right? Your job then is to put out the causes, you see? So if let's just say that you want 5 clients this month, or you want to earn 20K this month, that's the effect you want. Don't get caught up on the effect, okay? Your job is to focus on the causes. What causes, what actions can I take today to activate, if you will, the causes, so then the effect, based off of the law of cause and effect, will come back. Okay? And then if you could also see it like this, is that whatever you put out is whatever you get back. So if you put good out, good energy, good intentions, right, or helping people, you can't help but for it to come back. And again, the similar on the other side is true. If you have bad intention, bad energy, or bad frequency, if you have negative frequency, that's what you're sending out. Based off of the law of cause and effect, they have to come back. You see, laws are impartial, meaning they don't care, right? Laws just respond to your frequency. They don't care if like, hey, today you've been a good person, so the laws is not gonna happen. No, unfortunately, that's not how it works. But again, once you understand how the laws works, then you can just work with the laws. You see, you can actually ride the wave. Okay. Now, the last one is called the law of gender, the 7th law. The law of gender states that everything in the physical universe takes time. Okay, so depending on where you're at in your personal development, I know if you are into the quantum field, quantum physics, there is no time. There's no past, there's no future, there's only a now. It is correct. But in the physical world, in the 3D world, in the universe that we live in, it takes time to manifest things, or takes time for things to catch up to your thoughts. Okay, so give you an example that everybody hopefully can relate, whether you have kids or not. Okay, how long does it take for the conception until the baby to be delivered, to be born? Right, it takes 9 months. Right? How do we know that? Because you go Google it. Okay, even if you're not a mom, you know. Okay, so we know that it takes 9 months, and same thing with a lot of physical seed. Right, in the universe, let's just say if I go out and buy a carrot seed, right? I plant in the soil. Within a few months, I think if you check out the farmers, right, they would know. They know when exactly that it will sprout and it will actually produce the fruits. Okay, let's just say. Okay. On the other hand, when it comes to your goals, okay, your goals, think of it as non-physical seed. Like you can't see it because it's non-physical, right? But you plant it in your mind, which is the soil, right? I always use that analogy. So you plant your goal into the subconscious mind. How long is it going to take for this to sprout, for this to grow, for you to see the fruition of your manifestation? Well, it depends, because it takes time. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on the individual. Okay, that's why, like in my coaching, in what I do, everybody's level of awareness is different, and how soon they manifest things when manifestation come true is also varies depending on a few things. Number one is their desires, right? It depends on their desires. How much desire do you really want to go after your goal? Okay, that's number one. Second thing is it's your belief system. Okay? Do you have any resistance, any doubts and worries? Because like I said, they're going to slow down the manifestation process. Okay? And then there's other factors, right, that I'm not going to get into today, but everything in the universe, including your goals and dreams, have a time, okay, that you can put on, but we can make it faster. Okay, we can expedite it. Okay, so with that being said, those are all the 7 universal laws that I went over today. And be sure, I'm going to create a playlist coming up that be sure to check it out. I'm going to go in depth into all the universal laws so that you can really understand the importance of what those laws are and how do you apply them to your life and your dreams and goals so your manifestation come easier and faster. And you can just relax and trust, just like the sun is going to come up tomorrow. You don't have to worry. Okay, you're going to achieve your goals. So if you got anything out of this, let me know in the comment section, and make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel, because it's my intention to help you to become more aware of all these tools and techniques that maybe currently you're not aware of, so that you can manifest more wealth and abundance with ease. With that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.